Well, hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing? This is Redneck Politics. I'm Mike, your host, and this is Will, where real American voices matter. Uh, I'm kind of tickled. I was watching a show yesterday, actually the Kyle Kalinske show, which, man, I love the dude. The dude is good. One thing about it is he don't hold any punches. He calls it like it is, and we need a lot more of that. If you ever get a chance to see a show called Secular, his wife actually does it with him. They're they're great people. But you're late, Kyle. You're late. I've only been doing this now for about a month and a half, and still really don't know what the hell I'm doing. But I've made several videos on Trump and Epstein's relationship and some of the bullshit behind why I think Trump is scared to death to have this shit come out because there's so much dropping now. It's just blowing people's minds. But what it's doing is just reiterating to me what I knew a long time ago. Because, like I said, I'm one of the baby boomers. I grew up knowing who Trump was. I grew up knowing about Trump. Everybody knew who Trump was. Everybody knew, what kind of person he was, especially in New York City, filing all these bankruptcies on these so-called businesses that have failed. You know, due to his business practices, but the taxpayers, of New York are actually ones that foots these bills for every time that Donald Trump has done this. So it's been no secret that we've known who Donald Trump is. We also know that Donald Trump has always considered himself a rich playboy, a great catch by any woman's, standards. Rich. He just he he flaunted himself as being a playboy, and he ran around with people like Epstein. And of course, Epstein at the time he was loaded with money too. Actually, I really believe more than what Trump had. Trump, he was part of the millionaire status. At one time, people thought that Trump might have been, or at least the way he was putting it off to everybody, it made him appear for a while as if he was the richest guy in the United States, which now we can all look back today and say that was all bullshit because he wasn't. That show kind of helped revamp him. But, all the time he had been in bed with, you know, mafiosa connected people. He was in bed with the Russian mafia. He was in bed with the Italian mafia. You know, you got to think about it. Trump. Trump was a real estate tycoon, and he was doing everything he could and getting around every loophole he could, and cheat the government and cheat the state and the city and everything else out of as much possible money as he could. I mean, that's what most rich tycoons do is try to beat the system, and Trump was no fucking different than that. So at one point, I'm not even sure he ever even thought about, well, wait a minute, I better not do these things because one day I might want to run for president of the United States. That's why I've always said, what makes a man that was involved in so much bullshit coming up from the time his daddy kicked him out of the nest and said, okay, do it on your own. And even though daddy had to bail him out for shit, but I'm just saying, you know, uh, Trump, I mean, we all knew Trump. We knew what he was about. Uh, like I said, I don't think he thought about this shit was going to go this far. But if I was in his position doing the bullshit I was doing during those years of my life, I don't think I would have ever wanted to run for president of the United States, because once you do that, it opens up your whole life to everything and everybody. And for myself, I don't think I would want to have done that. Trump thinking about running from office. I mean, he's got some dark skeletons in his closet, and my God, at some point in time, wouldn't you think the dude be worried himself sick that some of this shit was going to come out, especially now, you know? But again, that's what Trump's doing. Why he's doing. He look. If he would have never got president again, this is one dude that would be sitting in prison today, whether it be federal prison or state prison. He was going to prison. He had already been found guilty of 34 felony counts in New York, I think it was. And the thing of it is he was found guilty by a jury of his peers that heard all the evidence, watch Trump in court every day make a fucking idiot of himself. I mean, this man you calling was the president. Now he wants to be president again, and he's going through this court thing like it's it's a joke. But no, it was fucking serious as shit, and he got found guilty. If he would have lost the presidency in 2025, then, man, he'd be in prison today, because the only thing they had left to do was sentence him. And once he became president, it was obvious that you could not sentence him. You cannot sentence a sitting president. I don't know exactly how all that shit would go down. I mean, you have to stop it, but still. But no, getting back to Kyle, he did a good show yesterday on, Epstein and how far back Trump and Epstein and others go in these beauty pageants. Like I've said in my other videos, Trump was involved in pageants and, Miss Teen pageants. And then he went on to do the Miss America. And I'm not sure at one time if he was trying to get to do Miss Universe or not. But he was all involved in that, from teen girls all the way up to, ladies in their lower to mid 20s. But at the same time, his buddy, his partner, his competitor when it comes to all these women that they are competing for all the fucking time. Sometimes he has to tell Trump, hey, that one ain't for you. Get your hands off. Trump was involved with Epstein and seeing women. Now, do I have any proof that he slept with an underage girl? Man, I don't fucking know. They say there's pictures of him in appropriate, positions with some apparently teenage girls, but I ain't seen the pictures, and if that's part of the files, that shit needs to come on out too. But Kyle and them, he made it, he connected, the dots pretty good. Like I said before, Epstein at the same time was involved in Victoria's Secrets. Trump had another little pageant he tried to do in New York, but it really didn't. I'm not too sure that went over too well. I can't remember the name of it. But you see my point. He's been involved in a lot of these pageants. Then you had another guy. I can never remember his name, and I don't know why I keep calling him Boudreaux, but that's what I'm going to go with, Boudreaux. But Boudreaux was involved in these model agencies, but a lot of his girls was coming from different parts of the world, where he was trafficking them in and then apparently over to Epstein and two others. Man, listen, they're not trafficking doing all this bullshit just for Epstein, man. Come on. There ain't that much goddamn dope that you can take, like, Viagra, Cialis. Oh, you can't take enough of that shit. uh, for him to have to. But him and Epstein were tight. He said him and Epstein had a falling out and he never spoke to him again. That's a fucking lie. They got damn emails out right now that's just been dropped out of the 20 plus thousand state that yes, he's had correspondence with Trump all the way up till the time of his death. You can see it with the Steve Bannon text. You can emails. I mean, it's all coming out now. It's all coming out. Are you going to find that key that really implicates Trump all the way? I doubt it, because man, they've already had so many goddamn FBI agents going through that bullshit and redacting Trump's names in a lot of shit, and they said it. They said it. I think Durbin is the one that actually found out about it first. Excuse me. But Epstein and Trump, were still, it might have been a longer distant relationship than it was from 2004, where they had that falling out on that, real estate deal that basically Trump went in there and cut his throat, went behind his back, bidded on it cheaper, got the deal, actually turned around and sold it and made a pretty damn good profit on it. But the guy that bought it was part of the Russian mafia, and his money basically was laundered through the sale of the house. Go figure, right? But anyway, that pissed Epstein off. It would have pissed me off too. It'd be like me calling, my best friend out saying, hey, I'm going to ask you your advice here. And then you cut me going behind my back and cut my throat, all because of money. So that did drive that wedge. And one thing about Epstein was Epstein knew a hell of a lot more people, had a hell of a lot more outreach to different, places in the world, to different people than Trump did. Trump didn't have all that. Trump knew a lot of people, but come on, Trump wasn't that well connected, and so therefore, Epstein and even some of these files goes to show you how these emails that had just dropped goes to show you that he was putting Trump down every time he got a chance, saying he's the worst piece of shit human being he ever fucking met. He's pure evil. And it's all because Epstein had this grudge against Trump for what he did. Well, Trump knew all this was going on. You do not think that Trump wasn't hearing the shit that Epstein was talking behind his back, and how bad to other billionaires, other millionaires, other people that's got money, other people that's got pull, other people that can help Trump do whatever it is he wants to do in the future? There's a connection there, people. So Trump was all involved in that shit. All involved. The only thing right now, the big question is whoever was involved, and if there's proof that a teenager was raped by one of these men, and I mean Trump too, if he screwed a teenage girl, or I can't even think of that damn lawyer name. Anyway, Alan Dershowitz or whatever it is, Dershowitz. He was a part of that too. He knows he's caught, red-handed. So, and others are going to come out, but there's others that do not want to be caught. They don't want nobody knowing, because it will really fuck them up. And maybe that's some of the big reason why Trump is keeping it all in. Because like I said, there is a lot of shit in there about Trump, but you also have to remember that they sent in a whole squad, FBI members, to go in there and redact as much as they could about Trump. So a lot of this you will never know till the day you die, unless you can read between the fucking lines and see when a man is really evil, and not just a person that you think makes mistakes and this, that, and the other, but was involved. And you can see that the proof is just, it's overwhelming. Now, whether you have the actual photo or tapes, but knowing the truth still means a lot, and if we know this type of guy this is, if that's what it proves out to be for real, then, well, I'm still amazed why we even got a goddamn president in the fucking White House that's got 34 felony convictions. I'm still worried about that bullshit. I'm still worried about the other cases that we had to drop, that they had, overwhelmingly all the fucking proof you can imagine, from Georgia to Smith's case for January 6th. But Trump there are some, I think he understands a lot of that shit. They say, okay, boss, we done scratched all that out. But you ain't never 100% for sure. You just don't fucking know. But Trump was involved with that shit. Well, during all these pageants and stuff, that they had all these girls, man. I believe that Trump in 2004, the only way to stop Epstein from talking so much bullshit is to get him on a different subject. And that different subject is him dropping the dime in the southern Florida, in Miami, I think, but it's the southern Florida district, who ultimately did the investigation on Epstein. I believe he dropped a dime on him, The son of a bitch has done so much. Do you honestly think it would be beyond Trump to turn on this dude to cover his own ass? No. Both of them were fucking narcissists like crazy. The only difference today is Epstein's dead and we're still dealing with this narcissist motherfucker. So that's the difference. But Trump is involved, to some extent. But I did want to get on here and jug at Kyle Kalinske a little bit. It's funny. I do like his show very much. Sorry, I'm a new guy. Don't know what I'm doing yet, but I'm trying. And if anybody can give me any words to help me do better than what I'm doing, please, just hit me up. My thing is, I want what's right for the country. I don't give a fuck if you're Republican. I don't give a fuck if you're a Democrat. I don't give a fuck if you're leaning independent this way and leaning independent that way. Whatever the fuck you want to call yourself, man. You are an American first. You're an American first. This left and right shit and the political violence that's coming off both is just fucking out of this world. I'm going to tell you, yesterday I watched another guy. I wasn't even going to bring this up yet, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you. I was watching this other guy I like to watch a lot too. It's called Pondering Politics. Fucking dude's excellent. Love him. I watch his show as much as possible. But he had actual recordings from our representatives in our government, Congress, our senators or congressmen, the Democrats that got out there and put out that, you must not follow an illegal demand in the military, which I'm 100% behind that shit. But apparently, a lot of these guys, like Jim Crow, who was one of them, who is a veteran, who was in the military, he is now a part of our Congress up there, got so many goddamn threats, and so many threats not just on him, his office, but his fucking family too, man. Do you hear what I just said? And a lot of it has to do with because Trump gets on his little microphone and says they should be executed. It was, I'm not even going. It's just absurd that he would do something like that. It's crazy that we even have to have Congress folks, senators, whatever, get up there and remind our military that you can't do shit like that. Remember, because like in Germany, they all tried to get away with this shit. Oh, we were following orders, but the U.S. didn't put it. Didn't they said, "Fuck you, we know better." If you kill 4 or 5 people out of here of what you thought was orders and it was wrong, well, you're going to pay for it. And that's what the Nuremberg trials were about during World War II and stuff. But anyway, I don't even know where I was headed with that. Kind of lost train of thought. But let me go on with these threats. I listened to 3 or 4 different people, and I heard exactly what they were saying and the threats they were making. And for a moment there, I was lost. I was like, I could not believe that I'm hearing people actually threaten death upon these people's family. Y'all, the left is doing it, the right's, more right than anything right now here lately because of Trump and his bullshit mouth. But man, neither sides needs to be committing violence. And that's not how this shit works, dude. And if you're thinking that or contemplating doing, whose head is your head been up somebody's ass all these years that that's bullshit? But anyway, listen, I appreciate y'all, let me talk with you. I just, like I said, want to mess with Kyle and shout out to Pondering Politics for that, because that really broke my heart, me thinking, how in the world would somebody, want to call up I mean, all you did, you don't even know why they were saying this stuff. You have no idea why the congressman was saying this stuff. And you automatically going to wish death on them? I mean, that's just crazy, really. So that kind of, it will kind of get to you, because I don't care who you are, left or right. Come on, man. We all have the same rights, freedom of speech. You can say what the fuck you want. The hell's the problem? They say it, you get mad when they say it and then want to kill them for saying it. But then when you say something, then you get mad because you say they're trying to take your First Amendment right away. I mean, goddamn, it's tit for tat. It goes the same way. I mean, come on. I mean, there ain't nobody that jackass stupid. But I know this. Epstein and Trump goes, and you're going to more of these files. I'm sure it's going to be, but. The guy that was involved with one of the pageants, he was indicted, went to jail, and they said he ended up committing suicide. Well, this was a partner of Trump and Epstein,
sounds like
man.
with someone might help. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline offers free and confidential emotional support.
Wow, man, I don't know where that come from. I don't even know if y'all even heard that, but it was on like suicide call there for a minute going, whoa, shit. Anyway, I apologize for that. I didn't even think about cutting off my phone but anyway. I don't even know where I'm at. This got me so damn lost. Oh, this guy died. They say he committed suicide. And then Epstein, he gets in trouble, gets a slap on the wrist, no problem. His money's getting him out of it. Ain't no big issue. He gets locked up again, and they say this motherfucker committed suicide. I don't believe that more than anything in the fucking world, because I'm going to tell you right now, if he would have ever thought about contemplating suicide, he would have did this shit back in 2004 and 5 and 6 when he was going through all that shit when he got the sweetheart deal. Why would he go to jail now thinking that, well, his money bought him out of that way before. He got the sweet fucking deal that way before because he had the connection, he had the money. What, Trump ain't passing out pardons like it's goddamn candy? But you don't think that none of that could have went down? This man ain't killed his fucking self. He was killed because somebody knew that he knew too goddamn much. The question is what was it that he knew that would get him killed like that? Man, that's a bitch of a thing to think about, ain't it? What would get him killed like that? What would he know? Who does he have backed in the corner? Who has he got so goddamn mad at him that they want him dead because they are scared he's going to incriminate them in some way? I know one thing though. The way Trump has acted over all these, when they spent all these years, the right, the podcast on the right about this, and Trump doing it too. We're going to release this. We're going to release this. We want this. We want this. We want this. And when we get into office, we're going to do this and we're going to do this. And then when it happened, they knew they couldn't fucking deliver without it hurting the Republicans, and especially Daddy Trump. So, I don't know. I'm not saying who killed him. I'm not saying shit like that. But the FBI's got the goddamn investigation so fucking screwed up and missing segments of the tape and all that shit. You'll never know. It always come back to a conspiracy theory, just like it has always been with JFK. You throw enough shit in there, it makes a conspiracy theory, and then nobody knows who to believe what. But look, guys, y'all have a good night. I want to shout out to everybody, in case I don't get to see you. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you. I wish you all the best. Hopefully, I'll be back on here tomorrow. But it's been a good video, and I appreciate everything. And peace. We love y'all. Good night.